I'm Abela from Oxygen8 Consulting. I'm a business consultant with a strong tech background, helping small business owners move from chaos to calm and take their business to the next level. In this podcast, I share practical ideas and simple systems to make your business easier to run, more profitable, and more enjoyable to own. Some of the content is created with the help of AI tools, but the voice you're hearing right now is mine, and everything is grounded in real-world experience. If you'd like to learn more, get in touch, or download free notes and resources, head over to gobeyondbusy.com.
All right, so you're out there running a business.
Yep.
You're somewhere between $1 million and $10 million a year in revenue.
Uh-huh.
And I bet you feel that tension
Oh, yeah.
of wanting to grow, needing to be more efficient. But sometimes it feels like you're just stuck.
Yeah.
Running faster and faster, but staying in the same place.
Absolutely.
You're just dealing with the urgent stuff instead of,
Right.
what's important for making real progress.
Yeah, and you know what? That feeling of being busy all the time,
Oh, yeah.
a real roadblock.
It is.
For businesses at that stage. They need to make changes,
They do.
strategic changes to simplify to scale. But
Yeah.
finding the time to think about that stuff,
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
it feels
It
impossible.
feels like a luxury almost.
A total luxury.
So we've been digging into some really insightful material
Oh, yeah.
about this exact problem, specifically for e-commerce businesses. So think of this like a cheat sheet, for understanding how to optimize for growth and profitability
Okay.
without having to do all the research yourself.
I love it.
And what's interesting?
Right.
A lot of what we found really echoes the advice that Abela gives.
Oh, Christina Abela. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, rhymes with a fella.
exactly.
Yeah.
She's a business consultant,
Uh-huh.
and she really understands,
Yeah.
the nuts and bolts of businesses in this revenue range.
She really does.
She gets the tech side, but she explains it in a way that's,
Totally, yeah.
easy to understand.
Anyone can grasp it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she gives the kind of smart, actionable strategies that
Yeah.
we've been uncovering in our research,
Okay.
the how-to of growing and simplifying
Right.
when you're in that $1 to $10 million zone.
Love it.
So our goal today is simple:
All right, I'm ready.
to pull out the key knowledge
Yeah.
that's going to help you, our listener,
Okay.
make smarter decisions and drive sustainable growth and profitability
Right.
in your e-commerce business.
Let's go.
Let's jump right in.
Okay, I'm ready.
One of the things that really stood out to me in our research is
Yeah.
just how fragile new e-commerce businesses can be,
Really?
financially speaking.
Okay.
There was a statistic we saw that just blew my mind.
Okay, hit me.
90% of e-commerce businesses fail
Wow.
within the first 120 days.
Wow. That's 90%.
90%.
In just 4 months.
Yeah. And you know what the number one culprit is?
What is that?
Financial mismanagement.
Oh, wow.
So what are the absolute essentials
Yeah, what do we need?
when it comes to financial foundations
Mhm.
to avoid that kind of fate for your business?
Right. So the ebook, Price and Profits of Online Stores,
Right.
and that mini course, The Ultimate E-Commerce Profit Secrets,
Yeah.
they both point to what we could call the 3 pillars of e-commerce finance.
Okay. I like it.
And those are revenue generation, cost management, and profit optimization.
All right. So break that down for me.
Sure. So these aren't like separate things, okay?
Okay.
They're all connected. So for example,
Okay.
how well you generate revenue,
Yeah.
that directly impacts your ability to manage costs
Right.
and ultimately drive those profits higher.
So it's all connected?
It's all connected, yeah.
Okay. It's like a tripod, right?
Yeah, I like it.
If one leg's weak, the whole thing's unstable.
Totally.
So beyond knowing about these 3 pillars,
Yeah.
what are the specific numbers,
Okay.
the financial indicators that our listeners should be tracking?
Yeah, so there are a bunch of key metrics that can really help you make decisions.
Okay.
Growth profit margin is a big one.
Okay.
For a healthy e-commerce business, you're typically looking at
Okay.
somewhere between 20 and 50%.
All right. And what does that tell you?
So this tells you the profitability of your product sales
Okay.
before you even factor in things like operating expenses.
Gotcha.
Then there's customer lifetime value,
Okay.
or CLV.
CLV.
Exactly. And that's basically a prediction
Okay.
how much revenue a customer will generate over their entire relationship with your brand.
Okay.
Now, you want to compare that to your customer acquisition cost,
Okay.
or CAC,
CAC. Got it.
which is basically what it costs you to get a new customer.
Okay.
Ideally, your CLV
Yeah.
should be way higher than your CAC.
Right, because if you're spending more to get a customer,
Exactly.
then they're worth to you in the long run.
Right.
That's a problem.
Huge problem.
Not a good model.
Not sustainable.
So what other numbers should people be paying attention to?
Okay, so there's average order value,
Okay.
or AOV,
Av-
and that's your total revenue divided by the number of orders.
Okay.
What's interesting is businesses that focus on increasing their AOV
Okay.
by just 15%
15%.
often see a profit margin boost of over 20%.
Wow. So there's leverage there.
Yeah, for sure.
What kind of strategies can help with that?
So things like product bundling or upselling can be really effective.
Gotcha.
And finally, there's return on ad spend,
Yep.
or ROAS.
ROAS.
This tells you how efficient your advertising is.
Okay.
So for example, ROAS of 4 to 1
Yeah.
means you're generating $4 in revenue
Right.
for every $1 you spend on ads.
So the higher the better, right?
Well, it depends. Your target ROAS is going to vary
Right.
depending on your industry and your profit margins.
Gotcha. So what's amazing for one business
Right.
might just be breaking even for another.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got to have these strong financial foundations
Absolutely.
built on these key metrics.
It's crucial.
So let's dive into that first pillar,
Okay.
revenue generation.
All right.
Specifically, how you price your products.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a lot more to it
Oh, there is.
than just adding, a standard markup.
Way more to it.
What's the right way to think about this?
So the sources we looked at, they all strongly recommend value-based pricing.
Okay.
And that's a much better approach
Okay.
than just using a simple cost-plus model.
Okay, so what's the difference?
Well, the big shift here is focusing on
Okay.
the perceived value of your products
Okay.
in the eyes of your customers,
Okay.
rather than just your internal costs.
Interesting. So it's less about
Yeah.
what it cost you to produce it
Right.
and more about what your customers think it's worth.
Exactly.
How do you even figure that out?
So there are three main things to consider.
Okay, I'm listening.
First, you've got to understand customer value perception.
Mm-hmm.
And this goes beyond, just the functional benefits.
Okay.
It includes emotional and social aspects too.
Okay.
So does your product make your customer feel a certain way?
Okay.
Does it align with their identity or their social aspirations?
Interesting.
The second thing is market context.
Okay.
You need to understand your competitors, but
Yeah.
don't be limited by them.
Gotcha.
And the third thing is value communication. You've got to effectively articulate the unique value that your product offers.
To your ideal customer.
Exactly.
Makes sense. So it's
Yeah.
like a premium organic coffee brand.
Yeah.
Right.
Good
They're
example.
not just selling, roasted beans.
No.
They're selling you a ritual,
Right.
sustainability, a certain lifestyle even.
Exactly.
Okay, so beyond understanding these core components,
Yeah.
what are some actual pricing strategies?
Okay, so there are some really powerful psychological tactics you can use.
Cool.
Price anchoring is a fascinating one.
Okay, tell me about that.
So the classic example is Williams-Sonoma
Oh, yeah, I've heard of them.
with their bread maker.
Yeah.
They had a model that was $429,
All right.
and it wasn't selling well.
Okay.
So what they did was they introduced a higher-end model
Mm-hmm.
that was $529.
Okay.
Suddenly, the $429 option
Yeah.
seemed way more attractive,
Interesting.
and sales doubled.
It's all about setting a reference point,
Yeah, creating a frame of reference.
Yeah, in the customer's mind.
Okay, that's a good one.
It's clever.
Right. What else have you got?
So there's term pricing,
Okay.
which is using prices that end in 9.
Yeah, like $49.99
Exact.
instead of $50.
Exactly. And that can make the price seem lower.
Okay.
Then there's strategic bundle pricing.
Okay.
A good example of that is Amazon Prime.
Oh, yeah. Good one.
So they package shipping, streaming other benefits together,
Yeah.
and they create a strong overall value proposition
Right.
that makes the individual costs seem less important.
Yeah. So it's like a you get more for your money kind of thing.
Exactly.
I also came across the idea of a strategic price hierarchy.
Oh, yes.
What's that all about?
So setting up a clear price hierarchy
Okay.
with different tiers like entry-level, standard, premium,
Uh-huh.
even ultra premium,
Okay.
that can be really strategic.
So the ultra premium doesn't even have to sell that much.
Right. It's more about,
Elevating the perceived value of the premium options
Okay.
and offering something aspirational
Gotcha.
for some customers.
Makes sense.
And for bigger businesses,
Yeah.
dynamic pricing can be really powerful.
Dynamic pricing.
Yeah, where prices adjust in real time
Yeah.
based on things like demand, inventory, competitor pricing.
Airline tickets.
Exactly.
Okay, so full-blown dynamic pricing can be complex.
Oh, yeah.
But, even just adjusting prices based on inventory levels.
Right. Or doing limited time promotions.
Right.
That can be a more accessible starting point for larger e-commerce businesses.
So we've talked about pricing as a way to maximize revenue.
Yeah.
Let's move on to profit margins.
Okay.
Now, we said earlier that high sales don't automatically mean healthy profits.
No, they don't.
It's a really important point to remember.
Absolutely.
We looked at the example of that electronics accessories retailer.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
They were making a ton of revenue.
They were.
But their margins were razor thin.
Yeah, like paper thin.
Compared to a competitor who had lower revenue but way higher profitability.
Way higher.
So you need to really understand your profit margins.
You do.
At different levels.
Absolutely.
We talked about gross margin, operating margin, and net margin.
Yeah.
Can you remind us what those are?
Sure. So gross margin is your revenue
Okay.
minus the direct cost of goods sold divided by revenue.
Okay.
That's your initial profitability indicator.
Gotcha.
And a good target range for e-commerce is usually between 50 and 70%.
Okay. 50 to 70% for gross margin.
Yep. Then we've got operating margin
Okay.
that takes into account your operating expenses.
Okay.
Things like marketing platform fees, salaries.
Uh-huh.
A healthy target there is usually around 15 to 30%.
Okay. 15 to 30.
Yep. And finally, net margin.
Okay.
That's your bottom line.
Yeah.
Your revenue minus all expenses.
So that includes taxes and everything?
Everything.
Okay.
For sustainable growth, you generally want to aim for
Okay.
a net margin of 10 to 20%.
10 to 20% net margin.
Yep.
So it's like peeling back the layers of an onion
I like that analogy.
to see the real picture of profitability.
Exactly.
And it's not just the obvious costs that eat into your margins, right?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
You've got to watch out for the hidden ones, too.
What are some of those hidden culprits?
So many things. Shipping costs,
Yeah.
payment processing fees,
Yeah.
e-commerce platform fees, marketing and advertising customer service expenses,
Yeah.
even the cost of storing and managing inventory.
Wow. So many things to think about.
You really got to have a handle on all your expenses.
So what can businesses do
Yeah.
to optimize those margins?
Okay, so for quick wins,
Okay. I like quick wins.
negotiate better rates with your suppliers.
Okay.
Even a 15% saving on your cost of goods
Yeah.
can really boost your gross margin.
Okay.
Optimizing your shipping strategy
Yeah.
to reduce costs. Implementing things to reduce product returns.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Smart inventory management to minimize storage costs.
Yeah.
Those are all good short-term tactics.
Oh, okay. Good short-term tactics.
Longer term, you might want to explore private label opportunities,
Okay.
which can offer higher margins,
Okay.
building strong relationships with your suppliers.
Right.
So you can potentially get better terms, streamlining your operations
Okay.
to reduce labor costs, and focusing on customer retention.
Yeah.
Because repeat customers usually cost less to acquire.
It's cheaper to keep them
Exactly.
than to find new ones.
For sure.
Okay. So lots of concrete steps there
Yep.
that people can take.
Absolutely.
Now, you mentioned something called a margin optimization matrix.
Oh, yeah.
What is that?
So that's a tool to help you prioritize
Okay.
your margin improvement efforts.
Okay.
So you evaluate potential strategies based on
Okay.
the effort required, the impact on your margins,
Yep.
the time it takes to see results, the resources you need,
Yeah.
and the risks involved.
Okay.
This framework helps you focus on
Yeah.
the things that are likely to give you the biggest returns
Right.
for the least amount of time and resources.
So you're getting the most bang for your buck.
Exactly.
Okay. That sounds useful.
Yeah, it's a great tool.
So let's shift gears a little bit
Okay.
and talk about automation.
All right.
This was another big theme that came up
Yeah.
in our research.
It's huge.
So how does automation help with growth and efficiency?
So automation is key for breaking that link
Okay.
between revenue growth and increasing operational costs.
Okay.
We saw an example of a pet accessory store that was able to really scale up,
Yeah.
but they actually reduced the size of their customer service team
Wow.
by using automation strategically.
Okay.
So by automating those repetitive tasks,
Yeah.
you can handle way more business
Right.
without having to increase your overhead.
Makes sense. So it's about doing more with less.
Exact.
Or even the same.
Yeah.
Freeing up your team to focus on more important things.
The high-value stuff.
Right. Exactly.
So where are the key areas?
Yeah, where should people be focusing here?
For e-commerce businesses in this revenue range to automate?
Oh, so there are a few key areas.
I'm all ears.
Inventory management is a big one.
Okay.
Automating reorder points, dynamically adjusting stock levels based on sales trends, implementing demand forecasting.
Okay.
All of that can help prevent, both stockouts and having too much inventory.
Right. You don't want to run out of stuff, but you also don't want to have a warehouse full of stuff that's not selling.
Exactly.
What else?
Optimizing your marketing spend.
Okay.
Through automated bid adjustments and scaling campaigns based on ROI that can really help maximize your advertising effectiveness.
Get more bang for your buck.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then there's streamlining order processing.
With automated order confirmations, shipping label generation, real-time inventory syncing.
Okay.
That speeds up fulfillment and reduces errors.
Good.
You can also use AI-powered chatbots
Oh, yeah.
for customer service.
I've seen those popping up everywhere.
They're great for handling those frequently asked questions, and automated email responses
Okay.
can take care of a lot of common inquiries.
Okay.
And then finally,
Yeah.
integrating your financial systems
Okay.
to automate things like profit margin tracking, cash flow forecasting,
Right.
expense categorization.
That gives you much better visibility
Oh, yeah?
into your finances.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that covers almost every part of the business.
Yeah, pretty much.
Are there any quick wins?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Things that businesses can do right away to start seeing those benefits?
Absolutely. So setting up automated order confirmation emails
Okay.
and shipping notifications, that gives customers a better experience
Yeah.
with very little effort.
Easy win.
Automating shipping label generation saves time, reduces errors, inventory threshold alerts,
Okay.
make sure you know when stock is running low.
Right, so you don't run out.
Exactly.
Okay.
Connecting your e-commerce platform and payment processor directly to your accounting software.
Okay.
Streamlines all your financial record keeping.
Makes sense.
And automating your expense categorization can save you hours of manual data entry.
Okay.
And then a basic FAQ chatbot on your website can handle a ton of customer questions 24/7.
So those are some really practical first steps
Totally.
into the world of automation.
Absolutely.
Okay, now I remember seeing the term operational excellence in our research. What does that mean?
So building operational excellence is about setting up
Okay.
efficient and streamlined systems and processes
Okay.
across your whole business.
Right.
And they become more effective and cost efficient as you grow.
So it's like building a well-oiled machine
Exactly.
that just runs smoother and smoother over time.
Yep. And automation often plays a big role in that.
Right. It's like the fuel for the machine.
Exactly.
We looked at the example of Fresh Foods.
Yeah.
They integrated their online ordering platform, their warehouse management system, their delivery logistics.
Right.
That's a good example of
Yes.
operational excellence in action.
Yeah, it shows how a focus on operational excellence, which is often enabled by automation,
Right.
can really improve your unit economics
Okay.
and give you a lasting competitive advantage.
So it's not just about automating individual tasks here and there.
Right. It's about the big picture.
It's about creating a whole system
Exactly.
that's efficient at every stage.
A well-oiled machine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about scaling.
All right. Scaling for growth.
For growth, yeah.
Love it.
It's an exciting prospect,
Yeah.
but it also sounds like a stage where you can really make some costly mistakes,
Yeah, you got to be careful.
especially financially.
Absolutely.
We came across a story
Love it.
about an e-commerce business that doubled their revenue,
Wow.
but almost went bankrupt
What?
because of cash flow problems.
Oh, wow.
So that's a reminder that you need the right systems in place
You do.
to support that kind of growth.
Absolutely. Your financial framework needs to be able to
Yeah.
not only handle that increased volume, but also fuel that expansion.
So what are the essential pieces
Yeah. What do we need?
of a financial framework
Okay.
that can support scaling?
So there are three key components.
Go on, lay it on me.
First, your system architecture.
All right.
You need integrated accounting software
Okay.
that can handle those increasing transaction volumes. You need automated reporting systems that give you timely, accurate insights,
Okay.
real-time cash flow monitoring,
Got it.
and seamless integration between your e-commerce platform and your inventory management.
Makes sense.
Second, your approach to growth capital management.
Okay.
You need to understand your working capital needs.
Uh-huh.
At each stage of growth,
Okay.
explore inventory financing options.
Mm-hmm.
Maintain an emergency fund.
Right.
And prioritize your investments strategically.
Okay.
And then third, you need robust risk assessment and management.
Okay.
So that means implementing cash flow forecasting models,
Uh-huh.
planning for seasonal sales fluctuations,
Correct.
mitigating potential supply chain disruptions,
Yeah.
and having contingency plans
Okay.
for unexpected market changes.
So as you grow, you really need to be thinking ahead,
Absolutely.
thinking strategically about your finances.
Yep, and potential risks.
Okay.
And, the sources we look at,
Yeah.
they outline different stages in the growth roadmap,
Okay.
each with its own financial system requirements.
Right. So what works when you're small
Exactly.
might not work when you're bigger.
You'll outgrow it.
Okay.
And there are specific metrics you need to track during scaling.
Okay, like what?
Things like your operating cash flow ratio, inventory turnover rate days, sales outstanding,
Okay.
working capital ratio, return on invested capital.
So monitoring those gives you a good sense of how healthy your growth is.
Exactly how sustainable it is.
So we've covered a lot of ground here
We have.
in talking about the financial and operational side of scaling an e-commerce business.
Yeah,
There's a lot to think about,
there is.
but there's also a lot of really good advice.
Absolutely actionable stuff.
Yeah, and it brings us back to something we said earlier
What's that?
about the value of having a guide.
Oh, yeah. Someone to help you navigate all this.
Exactly.
Yeah, because trying to figure all this out on your own,
Oh, yeah.
implementing automation, making those data-driven decisions,
Yeah.
planning for scaling,
It's a lot.
it can be overwhelming.
So this is where a business consultant
Yeah.
who really understands tech
Mm-hmm.
can be so valuable.
Absolutely.
Like Christina Abela
Yeah, she's great.
from the Go Beyond Busy podcast.
Yep, I love that podcast.
She not only understands the technology,
Right.
but she also really gets
Yeah.
the challenges and opportunities that businesses in this revenue range are facing.
She's been there.
Exactly. And importantly,
Yeah.
she can explain those complex concepts
Yeah.
in a way that's easy to understand.
You're really good at that.
Yeah, she bridges that gap between your business needs
Right.
and the tech world.
Which can be so confusing.
So it's like having someone who can help you
Yeah.
see the forest for the trees,
I love that.
guiding you to the right tech solutions
Absolutely.
for your specific challenges.
Yeah.
So you can achieve that sustainable growth and simplify your business.
Christine is all about simplification.
She is.
It's one of her superpowers.
It is.
Yeah.
So the key takeaway for e-commerce businesses in that $1 to $10 million range is this:
I'm with
understanding your finances,
Yeah.
having a strategic approach to pricing, optimizing your profit margins,
Yeah.
and using automation.
Right.
Those aren't just nice to haves.
No, they're not.
They're essential
Absolutely. They're the foundation.
for achieving sustainable growth
Yeah.
and finally escaping
Yes.
that feeling of being constantly busy.
Breaking free from the busy trap.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's about building a business that's resilient, efficient,
Yeah.
and ultimately more profitable.
Absolutely.
And that's well equipped for whatever comes next.
For sure.
So for you, our listener,
Yeah.
take a minute and think about what we've talked about.
Okay.
What are one or two things that
Yeah.
really resonated with you?
What are you going to do differently
Yeah, what can you start implementing today
right now?
to start optimizing for growth and efficiency?
I love it.
And don't be afraid to reach out for help.
Oh, yeah. Great advice.
There are experts out there like Christina Abela
Uh-huh.
and her Go Beyond Busy podcast.
Such a good resource.
They offer really practical, tech-savvy business advice, specifically tailored to businesses at your stage.
Yeah, get it.
So go check out gobeyondbusy.com.
Yeah, do it.
You'll find show notes from this deep dive.
Thanks for listening to Go Beyond Busy. If something in today's episode struck a chord, or you'd like support to get your business to the next level, head over to gobeyondbusy.com. You'll find more resources there and an easy way to get in touch. I'm your host, Christine Abela from Oxygen8 Consulting, helping you to fall in love with your business all over again. Thanks for joining me.